All right, so we're gonna go all through continuity, get deep in that, and talk about compound growth, cash flow, income, and kind of how you can put it into place in your business. So the worksheet that's in front of you is for the workshop, okay? But the workshop may be merged into the actual presentation, or we can do it after lunch, depending on how you guys wanna do that. All right, so continuity income is the revenue earned on a residual or ongoing basis after the first sale. This income comes in automatically on a scheduled plan, starting basic, moving more advanced, okay? Why do you need continuity? I'm gonna skip through some of this stuff because we've pretty much belabored this stuff over the last couple of days, so we'll go kind of quick. But e-commerce is a tough business. Massive competition, profit margins are typically on the lower end, large barrier to entry in terms of inventory costs, things like that. Difficult to build an ascension funnel. Yet people still buy physical products more than any other products out there because they're tangible and they're easy to sell. Most e-com businesses are cash poor, all right? Your money's tied up in inventory, raw materials, advertising, overhead, and it's not uncommon, as I've said before, for a business doing $1 million plus a month to have less than 20K in the bank, which that sucks. That's not fun, okay? But that's the way it is, right? E-com businesses notoriously have cash flow problems. And retail businesses are the same way, anything with a product inventory overhead cost. They also have unpredictable income caused by being front-end focused, having no average AOV and no back end. They also have a lack of a back end, right? Weak product line. If you only have one product or not anything else to offer them, it's very hard to keep that consistency of income up. And they have supply chain issues. All right, so you have product, you don't have product, or maybe you have all the pieces of the product you need except for one thing. One of Ezra's stories that he used to tell was they were trying to work out their supply chain, and one of the issues they had everything they needed except for, I believe, something in the bottle that made the pump work. Everything else they had, but they couldn't get the thing that made the pump work, so they couldn't sell the product. So it stopped everything. So it's not always the product itself. It could be the packaging or it could be something else. Supply chain issues can wreak havoc on your ability to do cash flow. And then insufficient advertising. You don't have enough money coming in on the front end to allow you to buy more advertising, or you're robbing Peter to pay Paul because you're actually insolvent as you're running ads, so you can't advertise enough to stabilize your income. Or you start at zero every month. This is how you're a magician. If you're a front-end focused business, if Jonathan sells $600,000 worth of t-shirts this month, in 30 days, the next month, how much has he made? For the next month, he's made zero. He has to start all over just to hit the same number that he hit last month. There's no building, right? You're starting over at zero every single month. Continuity alleviates that because you start over at whatever your automated billing threshold is, right? So no matter how much money you make this month, next month, you have to do it all again just to make the same amount, much less have any growth. This is a stressful way to live. And I've done it for years, building e-com businesses, building info product businesses. It's just, you're basically a magician. You become very good at pulling money out of thin air. But it's not a fun way to live. It's not a fun way to try to go to sleep at night wondering how I'm going to make $600,000 in sales again the next month from entirely new customers. So adding continuity to your business solves these problems. So an example on this is a tale of two businesses. Both businesses bring in $50,000 per month. They're both e-com businesses. Business A, regular old e-com, $50,000 a month, regular sales, no continuity. Business B, simplistic example, I know, but it incorporates continuity and derives 50% of its sales from recurring income. Is that unheard of? No, it's not. There's a lot of companies, and I'll show you some that do that. But in this case, the only difference is that one makes half its sales from continuity and one does not. The blue line shows month one. Both businesses make $50,000 by the end of month one. When month two starts, business A, which is the green column, starts over at zero, whereas business B starts off month two at 25K. So they have to do less work to get to the 50K mark, right? It's just, graphically, it makes a hell of a lot more like, oh my God, I gotta use continuity, than non-graphical. So I like to throw it out there. Now, what would happen on the third month if everything stayed true? Business A would start over again at zero, whereas the third month, business B would now start at 50K. They've already hit their number before the month even started. This is the power of continuity. All right? It's insane. And just because I like to beat a dead horse, here's a compound growth example. Let's say you charged $50 a month and you add 25 people per week to your continuity program. How many shirt sales do you do a day on average? 200 a day? Okay, so what's 1% conversion on 200? 2? So 2 times 7 is 14, right? So if he'd be putting in at least 14 a day with a 1% conversion. If he's selling 200 shirts a day, do you think he can get better than a 1% conversion on his continuity program? Probably. Could you get a 2%? Okay, so now we're there. So 25 a day, what I'm saying is not that crazy. Okay, and that's with crappy conversion rates. So 25 a day is not hard to do. 25 a week, excuse me, is not hard to do. So month 1, you have 100 members making $5,000 a month. Month 2, you have 200 members, 10,000. Month 3, 300. You can just see how it grows. By the end of a year, you'd have 1,200 members paying you monthly, and have $60,000 a month in continuity income. Yes, this is a static example. Yes, this is not talking about churn or anything else that happens. But the reality is, this is a very basic, very unimpressive growth rate. All right, it's just static. And you're not scaling, you're not adding different products, you're not tweaking, you're not doing anything. This is super easy to do. Okay, most of my black label people have done this in the first year. Okay, not counting the rest of the business that they already have. How much better would you sleep at night if you knew you had 60K coming in that you didn't have to do anything for, and then you start the month to do all the other cool stuff you do? Would it be easier to pay for your employees? Would you feel better about advertising more? Would you feel better about, hey, I'm gonna move into this new product category? Hell yeah, and you'd probably have a lot less stress. So this is, again, the power of continuity. Your monthly recurring revenue, or MRR, will grow at a compounded rate as long as you continue to acquire new customers as fast as faster than you lose them. You will lose customers. Not everybody stays a member forever. It just doesn't happen. But you can do a lot of things to make them stay longer and try to get them to stay longer. The idea thing, though, is you're still putting in more people than you're losing. So it continues to grow. It's like a snowball. So is anybody actually doing this? Nope. This company certainly didn't just sell for $1 billion and certainly isn't based 100% on continuity. Anybody know who owns this company? Only the guys answer. Oh, Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba, yeah. Jessica Alba owns this company. Okay, so they sell household products. Their entire business revolves around continuity. Are they a continuity-only business, though? No. They say, hey, come buy any of our products. And then the very first offer they always try to make you is your choice of 5, right? Any 5, any month. Get any 5 of our products every month and we'll ship them to your house. And then they have different plans at different levels, right? They also have the feminine care product, they have the baby care product, they have the baby package, they have the household cleaner package, they have all these different things, right? You can mix and match, or you can buy one of their preset plans, right? And then at any point, you can choose from any of their product line. This is a quite involved continuity program with them having so many products. But they didn't start out that way. They started out with a few products. They started out with one continuity program. And then they started, once they had all these products and they had the fulfillment and the infrastructure, they said, hey, why not let people pick and choose, because it boosts our retention. So if you can do that, why not? But you don't have to do that to start. So this company is not doing well with subscription revenue. This company is also not doing well with subscription revenue. It's an 8-figure company based 100% on subscription revenue. I think it works, guys. I think a few people are making this thing work. They are selling basically $100 a month continuity, selling their superfood powder, and they sell it on the front end as continuity. They've proven how to make it work. And now they have BCAAs, they have their omega-3s, they have their probiotics, all these different products that are all different continuity programs, bundle continuity programs, and it all mixes in together, and it works incredibly well. These guys are awesome dudes. Dane and his team, they're crazy cool. They come to Black Label a lot. They live in Colombia, because that's where it's cool to have powder, and they do pretty well there. So, Shoe Dazzle. These guys royally screwed the pooch. I got a story about these guys. So $5 million per month in subscription revenue. Would that be okay for some of you guys? You can't live on it, but it'd be okay. 125,000 members paying them $39 a month. Sells shoes and accessories. Okay, these guys used to have like $125 million valuation or something like that. Actually, it just happened when I was in college. Remember Steve, when we were in, where were we? Canada. And I was telling you guys this story. Their new CEO took over, and their model was you could buy the shoes and then you could subscribe to the continuity type thing. The new CEO came in and said, hey, we're only going to do continuity because that's where we make all of our money, and you can't just buy our shoes anymore. Boom. Company imploded. They were acquired for like 5 million, something 10 million, something ridiculous. I actually have a slide that'll tell you, don't be a continuity only company. There's a reason that it works better in the ways that I'm showing you. But basically it can do it in all these different ways. And then there's this little company. You guys are all pretty much, who is not a Prime member? You know who's typically not a Prime member? It's people who are living in countries where Prime is just not that awesome. But almost everybody else is. So you're paying $120-ish a year to be a Prime member. It's annual, but it's still continuity. Okay, and it's billions of dollars of continuity that Amazon makes off this. Now, did they lose their ass on Prime for a few years? But that's Amazon's business model, right? We can afford to lose our ass for a long time until it makes sense. But now it's not, and now they've made Prime so awesome, and they've built it into so many aspects of your life, you wouldn't dare cancel, right? So even if I wanted to cancel Prime, because I said, you know what, screw the shipping, I don't care, I don't buy products from Amazon, which is a lie, but let's say I didn't, there's no way in hell I could cancel Amazon, because then I would lose Dora the Explorer, I would lose all the Disney shows on the digital library, my wife would lose whatever TV shows that she's liking, like the new Prison Break and all of that kind of stuff, right? So they've attached it to your life, right? They've made it too painful to disconnect. How many of you guys are Netflix subscribers? Who's not a Netflix subscriber? Okay. You use your parents' account, but everybody has an account, right? Okay, so since you're being honest, I still log into my mom's. Her $7.99 account, we log in. But I do have a Hulu account and all the other ones that we pay for, and then we share, but we all share them, right? But that's funny because, yeah, I actually don't have a Netflix account, but I pirate off my mom's. I live in her basement. But yeah, so it's those things that we just get so ingrained into our life, and they don't have to be that powerful of a thing to do this. But basically, if you can make your continuity in some way affect your customers' lives in a positive way, the pain of disconnect is typically too high to cause them to disconnect for at least a number of months. Or they're like, hey, I'm gonna get some value out of this, I'm gonna keep it. Do you honestly think that the poetry example delivers that much value to the people's lives who subscribe to that $4.95 poetry and ugly picture thing that they do? No. But hey, it's that, you know what? I smiled at one of those emails one time. I might open another one of their emails one time. I'll just leave it. It's no big deal. So the next question is the how. So important to note before we get into the how, you should not and do not and never do become a subscription-only company. Okay? Don't pull the shoe dazzle. Continuity is a hard sell. It's a very hard sell. So don't make your life harder on yourself by only trying to sell that. There's the reason that we use physical products to leverage our way into an upsell into a continuity program, right? Make it as easy on yourself as possible. Allow people to buy from you before you hit them with a continuity. Or allow them to buy something that's not a continuity to test the waters, maybe trust you a little bit more before they become a continuity customer. It's far easier and more profitable to incorporate one or more continuity streams into an e-commerce business than it is to go full Monty. So you want to make it the focal point of your entire business, okay? It's the recurring income core. It is the central focus in the entire, everything that we do in all the businesses that we have. Continuity. Everything else supports the sale of continuity. If you get that through your head, I only sell a t-shirt because I know it's going to lead me to a trial customer of my continuity program. If I'm not going to sell a continuity program, I'm not going to sell a t-shirt. And if I'm not going to sell a t-shirt, I'm not going to sell a sticker order bump. Because all I'm trying to do there is not make any money, is trying to break even so that I can acquire that customer for the dollar trial. That's what I want, because I know that with a 7 or 8 month retention rate at $30 a month, I'm going to make a lot of money off of every customer that comes in there. And I can go to sleep at night knowing that the bills are paid and that money's going to come in whether I continue to monitor my Facebook ad account 75,000 times a day. So it should be the primary profit center in your business. You should be focusing all of your marketing and sales efforts into funneling people into your continuity program. And if you make it the core of your business, then it's easy to focus on that because it's the core and everything else feeds it, right? So you don't have to actually do an extra in your business. This may and most likely will require you to restructure your business, but it is worth it. The downside of continuity in terms of getting people to do it is that we are an instant gratification society. And nobody wants to play the long game. The reason that print on demand and t-shirt world blew up is because it's instant gratification, not because it's building a real business. Okay? Now, does it work? Do you make money? Absolutely. But if it was like, hey, Jonathan, sell $600,000 worth of t-shirts this month and 90 days later I'll pay you. Probably not so much, right? You've been like, how am I going to float that cash? Right? How am I going to pay off my ad spend? But Teespring's going to pay you out, or Viral Style's going to pay you out in the week. A little bit different. Makes it possible. So this is a long-term play. Realize that you're in the game of business, and business is a long-term play. So it makes sense to do it. So some types of recurring income core that will work in the e-com space very, very effectively. Consumable subscriptions, subscription boxes, digital memberships, newsletters, physical or digital, buyers clubs, associations, and micro-continuity. Consumable subscriptions. This is the most common type of recurring revenue in e-commerce. It's super simple. You have a product that's consumable. You say, hey, when you run out, how about I ship you more? Can't get much easier than that for continuity, right? Customers pay you to automatically ship them more products so they don't run out. You can also have bundle packs where it's like, hey, we have a powder, we have a vitamin or a probiotic, how about we send you one of each each month? So you can have them tiered. You could say, hey, you have a bigger family, we'll send you 2 of each month so your whole family can be healthy. And those are great, that's what all the supplement companies do. It's a great way to get them to buy more because you're preying on the things like, hey, you bought these pills for yourself? What a dick, what about your kids? I'm like, oh shit, I better add that to my cart. So you double their order value. I mean, you should see some of these sales letters that are sales videos that are being used. They're like, totally like music's all sad, like sad. It's like, man, you're like, makes you feel like you're just the scum of the earth. You're like, oh, of course I'll buy more. You know, my kid's one, he can't have fish oils, but I'm damn sure gonna have them when he's ready for them. So you have a stockpile of them, right? So this is Kiss Me Organic. This is a matcha tea. This is one of our Black Label guys. They do incredibly well with continuity, both on and off Amazon. Subscription boxes. These are the cool ones, right? These are the ones that just pop up all the time. They can be anything. It's a collection of physical products that are sent out monthly. They can be random, they can be niche specific, they can be themed, they can be all kinds of stuff. What you see up top is Birchbox. That's the makeup one. Their whole business model is built on samples. They get companies to give them samples of products, which they then send out to the customers. And you pay them to send you samples. The flip side of it is that they have partnerships with these companies in a lot of cases that if you like the sample and you want to buy it, you can buy it from a discount through Birchbox. And then Birchbox has a rev share with the previous other company. The Star Wars Bounty Box, you guys know Tony Ladig, he's one of our Black Label guys. He's the one that turned us on to this. Total toy guy, loves Star Wars. This Smuggler's Bounty Box blew up over the holidays. I can't remember how, in the tens of thousands of customers in like a really, really short window. And it just sends you little junk, Star Wars junk. The downside on this kind of stuff is that inventory costs can be a hassle. It can be hard to figure out if you're going to do something every month as a fresh box. It can be very hard to like, what the hell am I going to do? But like we talked about yesterday, though, using the drip-fed model and the prepackaged months simplifies subscription boxes to a point where anybody can leverage them. And another type of subscription box that's even easier to do is the blank of the month, t-shirt of the month club, wine of the month, cheese of the month. The one that hits Facebook and blows up every year is the Valentine's one, the lingerie or the flower or the rose, or not rose. What's the other one? What's the other one? Teddy bear. Yeah, the stuffed animal. But they do a monthly thing, right? You buy it, they promote it at Valentine's Day, and then 12 months of the year, you're gonna send your honey something, right? Works out really, really well. So there's simple ways you can do this. The t-shirt one actually works really well. Gear Bubble is now allowing you to do continuity. I don't know if he's actually rolled it out to everybody yet, but you can build a continuity program like an of the month club using Gear Bubble products, which are all print on demand, private label, whatever your niche is specific to. Digital membership. This is great. So this is Drew Canoli and Organifi, but he also owns Fit Life TV, which was his $37 or $47 a month membership. Made about 150, 200 grand a month with this membership. Okay, this was when he was juicing with Drew. So this was how he built his tribe and his following. Okay, this membership, I mean, his retention is ridiculous. He doesn't provide any additional content to him. It's all old stuff. His tribe loves him, and they all wind up buying Organifi and jumping into another subscription program. But it's super easy. It's literally just, hey, him making content videos of how juicing has made him more healthy. Here's the juicing recipe for the week. Here's how here's how eating kale will make your teeth clean, whatever stuff he's doing for the week. Okay, highest profit margin of any continuity program because it's digital, right? You don't have a fulfillment cost. Newsletter or magazine can be digital or physical, like Ecom Insider. You guys have that, some of you guys do. If you don't, we have a special on it in the back. Not that I'm pitching it, but I am. And it can be digital or physical. Paleo, this is a physical one. It's 20-something bucks a month, I believe, is the membership cost. Works best in the passion niches, right? Because if it's like a niche that's not really a passion niche, where people don't care about it, they don't want to read a magazine about it, right? So you need to have it be of interest to them. So it works best in that kind of thing. And in this case, it works best with monthly or quarterly distribution because you don't want to break a pattern. People are used to magazines, they understand magazine subscriptions. If you try to get something crazy, like we're going to bill you every third month on the fourth full moon of whatever, like some people try to do, you're going to confuse them. So try to stay within known constraints. If they're comfortable with this, and if like the niche, like one of the guys that I was actually in Denver with last week, he's in the crochet business. And all the crochet magazines they send out a magazine every other month and they bill quarterly. It's very weird. So he tried to do it monthly and it crashed and burned. He was going to send the magazine every other month, but bill monthly. Didn't work. He followed their exact model that everybody else, the traditional magazines were following, and the crocheters ate it up because he didn't change their pattern. He just provided more value through his offer, but it was the same structure. Okay? He just adjusted his pricing to fit within that model. Buyers clubs, things like Amazon, our customer royalty program that I was telling you guys about. These are for your elite customers. These are for the customers that you can charge them a monthly, annual, quarterly, whatever. These are the customers who join and they get exclusive benefits, perks, things like that. Typically, your best customers are the ones that join this. So these are the customers that are paying you for the privilege of being your best customer and buying more stuff from you. It's really, really cool. Simple to set up, and in most of our businesses, it works the best at a sub $10 price point because it's easy to convey that value. Hey, if you buy from us once a month and we give you expedited shipping or we give you free shipping because you're a member or whatever the offer is, it's easy to convey that value in a monetary fashion. Or, hey, by being a member, you're going to get an automatic 20% off all of our orders, off any order you place with us. Cool. Okay, so they can see that value. It's way more value than the cost. And it's one of those price points where people will not quit. Okay, associations. Associations are the new membership. It's the cool thing, right? Everybody's doing an association, especially since Dice and the crew publicized it and made it really popular. The big one that they run is Family Protection Association. Okay? These work best with passion niches where people want to belong. How many of you guys, not from the internet space, but are actually a part of some kind of association through something that you're interested in? Probably everybody, right? I mean, and if you're not, you probably are just through being, old or young or whatever, just through an age type association, right? There are interior designer associations. There's associations for dentists. There's associations for doctors. There's associations for competitive shooters, for dog lovers, for, hey, my cat's cooler than your cat, all kinds of things. There's association for everything. People are used to that, right? They're also used to associations having dues, right? You have to pay to join an association. That's normal. People are not like, if you call your membership an association, people all of a sudden understand they're going to pay for it, okay? And they understand that it's a sense of belonging, and people who want to join an association are the people who actually believe in whatever it is. We had a guy with a downhill mountain biking market. That was his business. He created a downhill mountain bikers association, and it just blew up. And now he's got all these races asking his association to sponsor their races and endorse their races. And so now they have to pay him to endorse their races. He just created it. I mean, he literally was sitting in a room one day and he's like, damn it, I'm going to have the Downhill Mountain Bikers Association of America, if that's even what it's called. That may not be America, maybe worldwide, I don't know. So what did he do? He registered .org, and he now is in the association game. There's no legal stuff that has to go along with that. Associations can be for profit, so you don't have to do any kind of thing to, be able to make money. So one of ours is Napa. It's an auto parts store. We do really well. Or it may be the National Association for Prepared Americans. But we may have potentially, not intentionally or totally intentionally, chose that acronym because when it shows up on someone's credit card bill, they may not ever want to cancel because it could just be their husband going to the auto parts store. So it works. This is a micro continuity, and honestly, we didn't choose it that way. It just happened to work out, and we're like, makes a lot of sense. Probably. I don't own it, so I won't. I just get a profit distribution for advising on it. But yeah, so this is actually a real association. We have a newsletter. We have perks through Abinity that we pay for. So every member who joins Napa gets to be or benefit from all the perks. They get the hotel discounts. They get all the stuff, and it's like, hey, because you're a Napa member, you're a National Association of Prepared Americans, you get your membership card and you get this code or whatever, and you log in this website, and here's all the discounts you get access to. Just like any other legitimate association, because guess what? It is a legitimate association. It just also happens to make money, which a lot of associations also make money.
Do you have to do anything for your corporate structure, or is it just something that you offer out of your main company?
It's something we offer out of the main company. Now, depending on how you are going to use this, this may depend on your existing tax structure and things like that, but no. For the most part, any LLC, LP, C Corp, S Corp, whatever, they can all run. Even a sole proprietor can do it. There is no, obviously you're better off protecting yourself in at least some kind of legal structure, but there is no legal stuff that applies with an association.
It doesn't have to be separate.
Now, it's basically, you think of an association as if it's a product within your business. Micro-continuity, again, these are my favorites. Micro-continuity at a sub $10 price point. Why? Because it's a forget about it price point. It's an impulse purchase price point. It's not worth the time to pick up the phone to cancel, okay? So it's easy to provide value at this point as well. And this is an example. I cannot believe this one actually makes money. This is called the Munchery. They have a $7.95 micro-continuity where they mail you a snack in the mail. They have other continuity programs where they sell you more food and they send it to you, but this is actually legitimately an offer. Like, how many snacks are they going to send you a month for $7? Like, one day you get like a Hershey's Kiss in the mail? Like, because the model just can't support that much shipping, right? But it works. They've got a ton of customers on that plan who usually wind up upgrading to one of their other plans. So there's three main styles of recurring income cores that these are going to fit into, okay? Number one is the subscription. Okay, this is the easiest to do. It's the most, or I should say the least involved, okay? Because it's like, hey, you need pills. You're going to run out of pills. I'm going to give you pills every month. Very basic, all right? There's no customer involvement there, really. It's a tit for tat type thing, right? It provides value, but it does not build a following or build loyalty, other than unless your product demonstrates that loyalty, like, hey, my life improved because I took this pill, and they become an evangelist that way. But it actually does not build a following or any kind of tribe or, customer loyalty. Number 2 is the membership. Requires more upkeep, okay, more effort. This could be tied to a subscription where you're giving them something as well, but it also has the intrinsic value. Focuses on building that tribe, building that loyalty, that following, building the customers that are going to come back and shout your name from the rooftops. And then there's a hybrid model, which satisfies both the tangible and the intrinsic/emotional needs for the highest perceived value and longer retention. So perceived value and value is an interesting thing. Of subscription and membership, which one can you attach a higher value to? The membership. You can perceived and intrinsic value can have a higher valuation, and people will not balk at it as compared to something that is just product-based. This red line, which is guaranteed to make your heart explode, is only going to be worth $4. That's the most someone will pay for it, unless you're buying it at like a bar or an airport gas station, right? Where they charge you more. But normal people are going to say, hey, this has a definite finite value, right? But if I say, hey, join our association where you get to hang out with 25,000 other, super passionate underwater basket weavers who all, we meet up, we have events, we talk, we do all this stuff. What's the value of that? Whatever I say it is, right? And whatever I can convey legitimately to you. So intrinsic things can have a much higher valuation because people put it's hard to put a monetary value on intrinsic things that actually you stick to. If I say, it's like this room. There's a different valuation to different people in this room. But if I say, hey, to be in this room is worth $10,000, that's what it's worth. So I can say that. But I could also say, hey, to be in this room is worth $1,000. It's all just it's an intrinsic type of thing, right? There's not a hard, definite, measurable thing. But in this case of a product, we know exactly what the finite value of this product is, because there's no intrinsic value here. The reason I'm beating this point is if you want to have higher profit margins, if you want to build that cult, that following of people that are going to shout your product from the rooftops and do what Organifi has done, and a lot of other companies have, where people really love your product, you have to do the hybrid. You've got to give product and also provide intrinsic and emotional needs. Also, when you support both intrinsic and emotional needs, your retention rate skyrockets. Because the least valuable thing is the commodity of which you sell, okay? The most valuable thing is what they get out of that, and if you can make them feel like they belong, people will stay. And mixing the subscription with the membership gives you the best of both worlds. This is how we get to charge more, because we'll take a subscription and we'll stack on some intrinsic value through an association or other aspects, and now we increase the interaction, and we can charge more for something that we could charge less for before. And the customer is happy to pay it. Okay, so how do you sell it? There's 3 easy, simplistic, good ways to do it. Number 1, the standalone sales funnel. This is the number 1 way to do it. Like we taught yesterday, right? They go through the sales funnel. The first upsell is the continuity program. You can also have it as an upsell funnel path if your store technology allows for it. So that would be that no matter what product they purchase in your store, when they check out, the immediate thing they're going to see is your continuity program as the upsell, right? Some platforms allow for this, some do not. So if you can't do it, well, then you can't. But if you can, do it. And then trial offers, direct sale, where you just say, hey, here's an email or retargeting campaign or whatever else, give us a shot, right? Where you're selling it, basically it's on the front end or through an automated follow-up sequence to your existing customer base or prospect list. You should be utilizing all 3 of these in your business. So the standalone sales funnel, traditional sales funnel that bypasses your storefront. So if you're using Ezra's, OCU, or you're using Cart Hook. You're hijacking the checkout, right? You're running it through a landing page, straight through a funnel that's ignoring everything else in your Shopify store, okay? Or if you're using ClickFunnels and you're just using a funnel. It's composed of a front-end offer and several upsells. We know this. The first upsell should be your continuity offer. And you want to chain up to 2 additional upsells behind the continuity offer, again, to break even on advertising so you can afford to spend a ton of money on advertising. Use one-click purchase technology to increase your conversion rate. And it looks like this. Right? We're all on the same page on this, right? Okay. This is an automatic and sometimes behavioral upsell path when you use the store case, right? So there's no front end. The path begins with the first upsell, it ends with the last upsell. So the path begins with the continuity offer. So whatever is in the cart when they check out becomes the front end. And then the first upsell they see is the continuity, no matter what combination of stuff is in the product. And then if it's behavioral, it would say, show them the continuity offer unless they already own it. And then we don't show it to them because we can behaviorally track that. First upsell should be your continuity offer and shown after every checkout a customer makes until they buy. So if you have a general store, general product store, and you have all these things and you have a generic continuity, doesn't matter what they buy or how many times they buy, you're going to continuously show them that upsell until they either buy or stop buying from you. Okay, because your whole goal is to get them into your continuity. And what you may start doing is you may have variations of your offer to still pitch the same continuity. And you can chain up to 2 additional upsells behind the continuity offer. Same kind of concept. Okay, so how does that look? Store, shopping cart, checkout, upsell to continuity. It's the same thing except we're talking about the store being your front end, right? Trial offers, incentivize the customer with a discount to get them to try your program. Like I said, in our case, we lead with a trial offer because we found it works the best. But you could lead with just your offer and then use the trial offer as your follow-up. So it can be leveraged as a product offering in your store if you want to. You can throw the just trial out there as a product, like, hey, try us for $1. You could say a dedicated email campaign that goes out to your prospects or customers after they buy a specific product or just as part of your natural follow-up campaign. As an upsell to boost upsell conversions, or as a second chance retargeting campaign, like we talked about earlier, if they don't buy the upsell. So they see your upsell for $19.95 and they don't take it, and you retarget them and say, hey, you should try it. I know you're going to love it. I'll take all the risk. Try it for $1. You can retarget them that way. Now, if you heavily discount your trial offer, make sure you know your metrics and can afford to keep operating until you have that ROI happen. Why? Because it's very easy to go negative. And like I said, we go negative with our dollar trial. It takes us 30 days to ROI, 31 days technically to ROI. If you don't know your numbers, it's very easy to overspend on the front end and not be able to float yourself until you actually do ROI. So the example is our trial offer for the continuity, for the subscription box. Right? $29 per month, it's actually $29.95. Sold via $1 30-day trial. 26% conversion rate. Default upsell behind every product we offer in every single funnel. It's the only reason we even have funnels, is to get them into this continuity program. We go negative until the rebill on the 31st day. And we have about a 7-month average retention rate, which we are actively working on increasing. So what we've done is we've positioned it as the upsell, and we've added the trial, and we actually give them some other cool intrinsic value all in that upsell to do whatever we can to make that thing convert as highly as possible and make it seem like an unbeatable deal. Even with all of that, it still only has a 26% conversion rate. Still pretty damn good, okay? We've tried to optimize beyond that, and we find out that it's just not worth it. For us, that's our sweet spot. It's better for us to focus on other areas where we can move the needle more than to try to get to 26, 27, 28%. So continuity is awesome, but it is not magic, okay? Every business is different, and it will require its own testing and tweaking to figure out what works. Casey and those guys were talking about it yesterday. They're like, hey, we've held off on the continuity because we have, in the fishing market, we've got to figure out how it's going to work for like someone who is a bass fisherman versus a trout fisherman or whatever, and they're going through this funnel, and how are you going to give the right product to the right person or things like that. You got to figure it out, right? There's no one size fits all for continuity, unless you want to look at it as like a buyer's club. Any company could utilize that in some form. But still, you're going to have to adapt it to fit your company, your market, your needs, your wants. And it can be a tough sell, okay? How many of you guys love signing up for something that you have to pay for monthly? No, you all hate it, right? You do it. Like even a Shopify app or your autoresponder or whatever, even things that make you money. How many of you guys love paying Klaviyo? Yeah. Our Klaviyo bill is insane. But the fucking thing works, so we keep paying for it, right? But we still bitch about it every time it hits the credit card. Okay? So even when you actually get an ROI on your monthly billing, you still hate it. All right? So imagine things like this, when you don't get an ROI on it. It's even harder, right? So you have to consider these kinds of things. Now your initial conversion rates may not be phenomenal. Okay? That's okay. This is a long-term play. Think about it in volume. Steve, how many sales do you guys do a day? 300 or 400. You're doing about 200 a day? How many sales are you guys doing a day?
Us?
Yeah.
At this point, not that many, only like, to be honest, 50 or 60.
Okay, still 50 or 60. Let's say you guys all suck at all of this, and you get a 1% conversion rate, which is easy to do, right? As an upsell. Almost all upsells will convert at least at 1%. Even if you just count the people who get confused and click it by mistake, right? You're still gonna get sales. And you may have cancellations, but you'll still get sales, right? So maybe you make the no thanks link, the yes link, and when they click no, they actually buy it. Don't do that, guys. There have been people that have done that, but don't do that. But anyway, let's say you guys really just suck at it. And again, if you're willing to make it a long-term play, 1%, so let's say it's only one person a day you guys are getting into your continuity program. Well, at the end of the month, that's 30 people. 30 times each month, it's just gonna grow, right? And are you guys always gonna suck at this, or are you gonna get a little better? Probably gonna get a little better, right? That's a good idea. That's a great name. We should use that. I like it. We're gonna build, grow, and scale, right? So you're gonna get a little bit better. So it's okay, right? We had a continuity program, one of our actual buyers club for the kitchen brand. It was only converting at around 3%. And we were like, man, this is, we can't tell people this because, I mean, we teach this stuff, right? So, of course, our conversions are 80%, right? Gotta make it look better, right? We can't tell people this. I'm like, sure as hell we can. I'm getting, 30 people a day into our continuity program at $5 a month. How is that a bad thing? Like, I don't care what my conversion rate is, that's cool. Because it doesn't matter, it's a volume play. It takes time, let it build. Let it work its thing. So it's okay that it's a long-term play, and even if it's only a small percentage of your customers, it still adds up. Now, if you are getting anywhere over 10%, pat yourself on the back and focus on something that can really move the needle unless you have an idea that can really dramatically change your continuity. If you're over 10% and you have a weak conversion on the front end, fix that conversion on the front end and you'll be a lot happier on the continuity, and then you can come back to that later. Anything over 10%, you're doing pretty good. We're in a mastermind with Ryan and Perry, and they, for their native commerce brand, which all their brands in native commerce, which again are following this model, they all sell physical widgets to sell you into continuity through an association, the whole business model. They stop optimizing once they get above 25% on the continuity because they found that diminishing return. There's better time focus, and you're better just pushing more people in the front end than optimizing beyond that point. So we follow the same thing, and we've found in a lot of cases that if you're anywhere above 10% in an e-com business, you're doing pretty good, and let it run and really focus on just packing people into it. And then you can always throw a retargeting campaign in there or something else to boost it up. So your homework on this is how can you implement a continuity program into your business? All right, what time is it? Huh? 12:08? Damn, where's my time? Did I do good? I did good. Okay, so before we go to lunch, between now and lunch, what we're gonna do, 12:08, right? That was right? Okay, cool. So what you have in front of you is a continuity worksheet, okay? This is something that we do with our Black Label and also with our Academy students. Now, if you're in the Academy and you've already done this, guess what? You get to do it again. because most of you guys still don't have your continuities up and running, so we're gonna do it again. And now I get to yell at you guys in person. Okay, so you got the instructions here, it's front and back. The first page, what you're gonna do is from what we talked about, you're gonna go through, our starting point is your business basic metrics. Okay, so you're gonna look here and you're gonna go to your business name. Hopefully you know the name of your business. You guys get the first question right. Then you talk about your customer price tolerance. You know what your customers spend on average. Your best-selling products price, so whatever your best-selling front-end product price. Your current average cart value, your average gross margin, and your average net margin. We're not gonna use these a lot, but the fact that you have to write them down means they're in the top of your mind as you go through the rest of this worksheet. Okay? Then you're gonna go through here and you're gonna choose your favorite 2 continuity styles that you think best will fit your business where it is right now. So your number 1 choice is where the number 1 choice goes. Your number 2 choice is where the number 2 choice goes. Okay? And then of the 2, you're gonna pick your favorite to start with. You're gonna tell me why it's your favorite. And when I say tell me, you're gonna tell yourself, but I want you to write it down because nobody does this stuff, all right? And what I'm doing here is I'm forcing you to brainstorm and think about something that you will only think about until you walk out of this room, and then a squirrel will run by and life will resume and continuity will take a back seat again in your business until the next time you come to an event and I beat it into your head again and you're so excited until the next squirrel. Okay? So humor me on this, guys, because it does work. So then why is it your favorite? And then once you've done that, you're gonna move into the actual part 1 of it, where you're going to take choice number 1 and you're gonna answer the questions, okay? You're gonna say, hey, my choice number 1 was a subscription box, okay, for my cell phone accessories business. And then you're gonna write down, and just word vomit, what would that continuity program look like in my business? Well, I would be sending them a box every month, and it would have, every month I'm gonna put a cell phone case, I'm gonna put I'm just randomly picking things, a cell phone case, I'm gonna put a screen protector, and I'm gonna give them a set of earphones. And I wanna charge them $29 a month for this, and we also wanna include stickers and this, and this. Just brain dump, what do you think it could look like? What are the possibilities? We're not censoring our ideas yet, okay? We're just trying to get them down. And then, what would your customers look like? Why would your customers like this program? So Steve would say, oh, cool, well, my customers would like it because I'm giving them a new screen protector every month, and you know what, their screens are always getting jacked up, and the screen protector gets scratched and it's hard to see, so they're gonna like that. We're also giving them some new cool bit of technology that they're gonna like or try, and something cool, some sticker or whatever else it is, right? You just list those out. What value would it provide? And then how would you sell it in your existing business? Steve's like, okay, well, we're using CartHook now. They're about to integrate with Recurly or Chargeify. I'm gonna use that app and I'll be able to upsell it behind every product that we sell in the store. And I'm gonna upsell it, I'm gonna give them a $1 trial, right? I'll bill you later for this, okay? So what price point would you sell it at, and what's your estimated gross margin for this? Okay, and again, we're just brainstorming here. Then what are the 4 reasons that it won't work or that would prevent it from working in your business? Because here's the thing, you're writing this down, and what you guys are all awesome at, including myself, is telling me why it can't work. Because we're pre-programmed to do that, right? We're pre-programmed to sabotage ourselves and put it, and I don't care how stupid the idea is. It won't work because my name's not Tanner. It won't work because, I don't wear the right kind of shoes. I don't care what your idea is. It could be stupid, it could be legit, but you never know, like when you write it down, half the time, you'll look at it and go, that's not a very good excuse. Or if it is a good excuse, the best part about writing down the reason something will not work is that your brain, it's a tricky little sucker. What your brain does naturally is it goes into problem-solving mode in your subconscious. And what happens is you wrote it down, so now you've acknowledged that there's an issue or something that needs to be solved, and later on you're eating your Captain Crunch, and all of a sudden you're like, I know how to do that. This works. How many of you guys have ever had that happen? He's the only guy in here who eats Captain Crunch? Yeah, you guys are so liars. Okay, maybe Cookie Crisp, but it's still a cereal and you have your best ideas. But this is true. Guys, if you can trick your mind into helping you, okay? Instead of just sitting there going, oh, this won't work. Your excuse could be, which Tom was very happy that I pointed out, that he sucks at tech, right? I suck at tech. I don't understand how to implement this, or I don't, whatever. But that's an excuse that you can solve, right? But if you don't acknowledge your excuses or you don't acknowledge the reasons why it won't work, you're never going to get it to work, okay? So that's part one. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing with your second choice, okay? Same exact worksheet. So you've mapped out 2 different ideas for continuity programs in your business. It's okay to have more than one continuity program in your business. But the reason we're mapping out 2 and not 6 is because 2 is a lot easier to do than 6. And also because not all those may fit for your business, but at least 2 of them will probably show up. Most cases it's going to be some kind of physical thingy and maybe a digital thingy, or maybe a combination of the 2, right? So you map those 2 out. Then you move on to part 2. You map out, so you write down the continuity choice. So at part 2, you're going to start back up with your favorite one. Choice number 1 was, I'm going to do a cell phone subscription box. And then you're going to map out the next thought process. What upfront expenses or costs would you incur to get operational? Brainstorming here. Okay, well, we'd got to go to Uline, we got to get the boxes that we're going to ship this out, and we're going to do custom packaging, or I have to upgrade to a different cart hook plan, which is going to cost this much. Okay, what kind of costs are there going to be? All right? Or I need to expand our product line, or whatever it happens to be, or I need to hire a content writer to create the content, or I need to have someone map out or build out the membership site. Upfront costs. What are the ongoing costs that you will incur? Okay, well, cart hook's going to cost me $200 a month. The Recurly app or Chargeify app, if I'm doing it through Shopify, is going to cost me another $50 a month, or whatever it is. I'm going to have a newsletter person who's going to write our newsletter for us. That's going to cost me $1,500 a month to do all the content and production on that. Things like that. You just go ahead and map out all these things, okay? And we'll get the totals on each of them. And then we're going to plug in some rough metrics. We're going to say, we wanted to sell our continuity program at this price. Our estimated cost of goods are this price. And you guys know how to do all this math. Even if it's estimated, you're still going through the effort of thinking it through, okay? And this is, again, if I didn't make you do this, you guys would never do this, okay? But again, simply by programming your subconscious, okay? I could get super network marketing on you guys right now and make you do it. I could have printed this out on blue paper. I could have made you write it in blue pen, because blue is the only color that the eye cannot actually see. And so your brain has to imagine it and see it before you can actually read it. And then I can make it sink into your head, which is why network marketers always say you write your whys in blue ink, why you should always use blue ink. Okay? But I'm not going to do that to you. But you should use blue. That's why I always use blue ink. The other thing, I'm making you write, because how many of you guys are tech geeks? Oh, like all of you, right? You guys use computers more than you use paper. So how many of you guys, your handwriting, it's become harder for you to write since you use your computer so much, right? Like you used to be able to write, and now it's like to write a note, you screw up 3 times before you get the note written. Okay, so this is another thing. By making you put it on paper, now that your brain is so like special ed that you cannot write, you have to think and concentrate to write. So it takes more brain power to write it on paper. So now we're engaging the brain, we're firing neurons, we're getting the subconscious going, and I'm basically hacking your way to success with this, into actually doing it. I would love to say I figured all that part out on myself. I totally stole it from a couple of my buddies who are, they do a lot of NLP and programming and stuff, and this is how you get education to work, okay, is by doing a lot of these worksheets and things like that, and especially people who spend so much time on the computers like us, forcing us to put it on paper makes things better. That's why I don't flowchart on a computer anymore. I draw my flowcharts now. I put them on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, because number one, I didn't realize how damn hard it is to draw a nice square and write in it as compared to, so I have to think about what I'm actually doing, and it just makes the brain process a little bit better. So anyway, you're gonna do part 2 for both ideas as well, okay? And then, at the end of it, you're going to have calculated your sunk costs, what your break-even points are to recover your sunk costs. You're gonna cover your ongoing break-even costs and know what it would cost you, just as a rough idea to how many members would I need in order to cover my ongoing costs. That would be kind of nice to know, right? Absolutely. But again, it's not something you're going to calculate or ever do if I don't make you do it.
Okay, now that you got the lowdown on continuity, there's one other issue that you got to dial in, and that is the actual products that you sell in general, whether they're a part of your continuity offer or just the regular products that you sell through your store. Either way, you got to make sure they're good products. Are they high quality? Are they private label? Are they drop shipped? That part doesn't matter as long as the quality is good, the pricing is good, your cost on the product is good, and the value to the customer is good. But how do you find those kind of products, right? Well, I'm actually going to teach you that in this video right here. So click over here, watch this video. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. Also, make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications to this channel so that you can keep up to date with all the latest videos that we release. I don't want you to miss out. So click here to subscribe, and I'll see you in that video.